Friday the 13th. This is the stuff that people make horror movies about. People fear Friday the 13th. And no Israeli, no Iranian will ever think of Friday the 13th the same again. Why? Because it was in the wee hours of the morning on Friday, June 13th, that Israel attacked the Iranian nuclear sites, Iran's ballistic missile facilities, and Iran's entire military hierarchy in a massive, sweeping, historic, and successful decapitation strike. Now, what's interesting are several questions. Why then? Why did Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, attack then? What prompted it? How successful was it? And is President Trump upset with Bibi Netanyahu? Because President Trump said just a few days ago that Netanyahu should not attack Iran while Trump and his team were conducting negotiations with Iran. Good evening and welcome to a very special edition of the Rosenberg Report. We're going to cover this, and I want to walk you through the answers to these questions. But I want to first start here. Why? Why is this night different from all other nights? Well, I take you back to April 12th of this year. It was on April 12th that President Trump told the Iranian regime very publicly and very definitively, you've got 60 days. You can make a deal to end your nuclear program, and I'll lift the economic sanctions, but you've got 60 days. Make a deal or else there will be all hell to pay. That's what he said. 60 days was up on June 11th. June 12th, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu made the decision and ordered the IDF into battle, and it was the morning of Friday the 13th that the attack actually occurred. Let's take a look at two clips. Prime Minister Netanyahu on live national television in the middle of the night explaining why he did it now, and what were his targets, and Bibi Netanyahu thanking President Trump. Let's take a look.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000 of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program. He has made clear time and again that Iran cannot have a nuclear enrichment program. Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now.
Now, that last part is interesting to me, Netanyahu thanking President Trump. Why? Because I think that this is what happened. I think that Trump and Netanyahu made a deal. I think that Trump told Bibi, look, I want to really try to make a deal with the Iranians. If it's at all possible, let me try. Let me send Steve Witkoff to go negotiate. And if we can get a deal and we don't have to go to war, that's better. But if we get to day 60 and they haven't made a deal, I will give you the green light. I think that's what happened. We'll find out in the days and weeks ahead. But I think that's what happened. And I think that two things happened in recent days. One, the Supreme Leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, publicly denounced the negotiations and said he wouldn't make a deal. That was just a few days ago. And second, the UN's nuclear watchdog agency, the IAEA, announced that Iran was enriching massive amounts of uranium to military grade in defiance of every international treaty and every resolution of the UN. And the IAEA voted to publicly condemn Iran for doing it. With those two pieces in mind, I think Trump gave Bibi the green light. You go do it, I'll support you, but I'll create a diversion by saying don't do it. And then Bibi made the decision, and it's been tremendously successful. Go to All Israel News and find out more details. Go to our YouTube channel because I've got a much more robust version of this. But I want you to know, all of the top 20 or so top military officials in Iran, they're dead, including the chief of staff of the entire Iranian military and the commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. These are the top two terror masters in all of Iran. They're gone. Most of Iran's nuclear sites are in rubble, flaming rubble. The ballistic missile systems are mostly gone, not entirely. And Israel continues to attack. And we're told that these attacks may continue for days and maybe a week or more. So now the first retaliatory response by Iran was 100 suicide drones fired at Israel. Those are slow moving. They can take 3 to 4 hours to get to Israel, but not a single one of them landed in Israel, hit Israel, attacked Israel, because Israel's defense forces went into battle and destroyed all of those suicide drones. This is the most sweeping, historic, and stunning, I would say miraculous, successful attack on Iran in history. It's what we've been calling for. It's what we've been praying for. Sure, a negotiated deal would have been good, but Iran was playing us. They were stringing us along, and God bless Prime Minister Netanyahu for making the courageous decision to do it. God bless every soldier and intelligence officer, pilot, and everyone in the IDF who was involved in doing it. God bless President Trump for supporting us and taking such a tough line on Iran